this is Father Vasilios Bassakyros, brought to you today, as always, from New Greek TV and our series of spiritual enlightenment. I hope that you enjoy. This is series number 5, episode number 5, and I hope that you enjoy them. I hope that you glean things from these that will help you through this time of not just Great Lent, but through the year. Because, as you know, Satan is always after those who are baptized. Always. He can't gain entry into us unless we let him through sin. So we walk through minefields. And the minefields in our life go off, but we can't feel them. Because we have that bubble around us. That bubble is the baptism that we have, that protection. But we will feel everything else because we live in the fallen world. Even though we, as baptized Christians, live in the resurrected world. That world that we expect to be born again and resurrected. When that day comes, when that judgment day comes, we will be resurrected as Christ was resurrected and brought into the new world with a changed body, soul, and spirit. There's a story that I read years ago that I thought was very interesting. And it was about a man who was named Gopi Krishna. Gopi Krishna was a man who was a school teacher in India. And as he was teaching, he started to get into more and more different areas of yoga. Because I hope you know that yoga is a religion. I know we do it for exercise. I know we do it for stretching our bones and everything else to get us in shape. But it is a religion. That's where it stems from. All the breathing exercises, the ums, all those are religious exercises. We do it with the Jesus prayer. We do it with exhaling and inhaling during the Jesus prayer. We use apparatus to help us, as the ums, when you do yoga, do the same thing. So this man, Gopi Krishna, was a person who decided to delve into something called the Kundalini. The Kundalini yoga. And as he started to investigate this style of yoga, he was a yogist, of course, because it's their religion. So as he started delving more and more into it, he started cloistering himself more and more in his house. And he was married. And his wife was wondering, what is he doing in the room all this time? He's a school teacher. His schoolwork, all the things he was doing, it was started to fall off, and he was practicing more and more. The word Kundalini, if you ever looked it up in the dictionary, you'll see is a snake that dwells within the spine. And by manipulating your body through exercises, you will release this Kundalini, the snake that dwells in your spine, and that will cover your head. It's like a cobra that opens up and you see it fan out. Well, it's going to fan out over your eyes. And when it fans out over your eyes, you see all the universe and all the mysteries of the universe. So Gopi Krishna goes deeper and deeper and deeper into this. And sooner or later, he almost dies. Only because he gets taken away by this. He has no way to stop what is happening to him. We in the church, and I understand what it is, have a break when things happen to us. We have a break like on a car. When something comes up in front of us and we can't get out of it, or we're just going to hit it, we have a break. It should become automatic like some cars have now. They have automatic stopping systems. When something is stopped in front of them, they stop automatically without you telling it to do anything. Our braking system is the Jesus prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. That is our brake. He didn't have that. So he got deeper and deeper and deeper into the prayer. I knew someone years ago who practiced this in New York. And they came to me once and said, Father, I have a problem. I said, really, what's the problem? They said to me, I don't feel myself anymore. I said, really, what do you mean you don't feel yourself anymore? I just don't feel right. I said, well, what's happening in your life? And they said to me, well, you know, there are things happening and I'm okay, but I feel something inside of me is wrong. So, and by further investigation and then through confession, I found out that that girl loved yoga, and someone with her said, let's go and practice this Kundalini yoga, because it'll get you deeper into yoga. And it did. And this person started building in their house a temple, like an iconostасio, like we have in the church, an icon screen, with all these animals, these things that they use and that represent their religion. And they heard voices telling them what to do, telling them what to build. And through the grace of God, and through the Jesus prayer, and through fasting, and through confessions, it left her. She destroyed everything in the house that she constructed. She threw everything away. And then slowly, this moved away from her. But it's through God's grace that this happened. Why I'm saying this to you? Because there was a wonderful book that was written years ago from a man who had as his spiritual father, Father Paisios. And you know that Elder Paisios is now a saint. So if you have time, please pick this book up. It's called The Gurus, the Young Man, which is the boy who wrote it, and Father Elder Paisios. It's a great book. It's filled with all those things that happen in India, with yogists, with all these other mystics, as they would call them. And he goes through the dialogue with Father Paisios. And Father Paisios is fighting for him, even though he's not near him. This boy travels all over looking for the real spiritual meaning of life. And he goes through a huge journey. I won't reveal everything to you, but he goes through what this experience was with the Kundalini. And that you can see many times how dangerous this is to those who are baptized. So today, the story that I have to relate to you was about a wonderful man who I was told to take care of when he made his trip to Sinai, to Egypt. It was a metropolitan. And the Archbishop told me, Damianos, asked me to go down and pack up his bags and take him to a room. So I went down, and all I saw was one car with two people in it. Usually, when metropolitans come, there will be 3 or 4 or 5 in their entourage. This time there was only 2, the driver and him. And when I got closer to the car, and he turned around to look at me, I started to get trichisa, as we say. I started to get goosebumps all over my body. And I couldn't figure out why that was. So I opened the door, he came out, he opened the trunk of the car, and I ready to grab the bags, and he said, no, leave them alone. Afiseta. I said, no, I'll take them. Don't worry. No, afiseta. He gets out of the car, he's a big man, picks up both suitcases with this other man that's with him, and they start walking up where I'm telling them to go and showing them to the room. And we make winding roads because the monastery is a real labyrinth. And as we walk up, he's telling me, I've been here before, I love coming here, I love to spend my vacations here. I said, well, how long are you going to be here? He said, well, 10 to 12 days. I said, that's great. I hope you enjoy yourself. If you need anything, let me know. So, as we go, I open the room. He goes in, stays there. And that night, I said, so I'd like to take a rest. I said, surely. I said, when you hear the syntandron, the bells, start ringing for Great Vespers, or Vespers that night, he says, would you soon come down? He said, okay. So they took some nap, they took some rest. The bells went off. We all went down for Vespers. He came down, and the Archbishop met him, and he stood in the second throne next to the Archbishop. And as I'm looking at him, again, trichisa. And when I looked at his eyes, you could see all the way down into his soul. It's an amazing thing that you could see this man that way. All he had and all he brought forth out of himself was issachia, was peace. Real peace. Not some phony peace, not some superficial peace, but this real internalized peace. And after the Vespers, I said, we'll go upstairs, we'll make something to eat. He says, no, I have everything. I said, okay. What time is service? I told him. He said, okay. So the Archbishop that morning permitted him to serve the liturgy. So he was there in the liturgy celebrating. And every time he turned around and every time he looked at us and every time he blessed us, you could feel this rush of love coming from this guy. And I was amazed. And as I understood more and more about him, I said, one day I said, Yerunda, can I ask you a question? He said, sure, what? I said, can we talk? He said, about what? I can't understand why every time I look at you, every time I see you, you just exude this feeling of peace. He says, one day. So I went to his driver and I asked his driver, what's up with him? His driver says to me, that's my brother. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, I take him wherever he wants to go. We live in our house, our little house where we were born. He did away with almost everything that he had, and he became this metropolitan. And that's where the peace came from. And he tried to make us see, one day when he talked to me, he said, Vasily, many, many bad things happened to me in my life. Many things. And even from the clergy. But I want to tell you one thing. You have to do what St. Paul says. I said, what's that? You have to fight for your soul. Every day I wake up every morning and I fight for my soul to keep that peace within me. I was astounded. And when I took his bags down, when he finally left, he took them down, of course. He told me, no, I'll carry them. He took them down, put them in the car, got in the car, rolled down the window, and I looked at him, I go, your blessing. And he said to me, Vasily, I hope that you continue on your path, and I hope every day you fight for your soul. So may during this Lent period of Great Lent, and during the year, may you understand what fighting for your soul means. Receive it, understand it, and fight for it all the time. God's grace is there with you always to do that. May God bless you. May you have a blessed, great Lent till we get to that wonderful, great, and holy week. Amen.